Thank you so much, Teacher Lois, for that very enlightening input on creativity and character development amongst our little explorers. It is so refreshing to think that all of us parents, kahit nga sa akin na my two daughters are already grown up, I was reminded na sometimes we have to look at the context of the words. Like for example, in today's session, we are talking about creativity, but we don't mean that it is something that is only referencing art. Art lang ba pag sinabing creativity? And then character development doesn't also mean that our kids know how to say yes lang. Yes po, ganun lang, no? To whatever we want them to say or do. It is very critical during the early stages of our children's development to already adapt to the context, especially when we're teaching them concepts, themes, and topics. We have to open our eyes and approach things from different perspectives. It is also nice to learn this activity suggested by Teacher Lois in her keynote speech. She suggested a lot of activities. She even showed a lot of materials, no? When it comes to these two developmental domains. Again, it reinforces the fact that we have to do this and we have to look at our daily routines and experiences na ginagawa natin sa bahay, and from there find opportunities to teach our children or strengthen these critical areas of development tulad nga ng creativity and character development. We just have to be very intentional sa ating mga galawan sa ating bahay in order for us to maximize every moment to help strengthen our children's growth and development. Even getting bored, for example, can be a learning experience, di ba? Minsan talaga naboboard na tayo, parang nakaka-board naman, ano ba yung pwede nating gawin? So, hopefully from this session and also from the keynote of Teacher Lois that we learned many things, even things can be an opportunity for us to learn a lot of things. So enough about my learning. We now shift to hear from other parents, and learning, as we jump to the next segment of today's session. First, let me welcome back our keynote speaker for today, Teacher Lois. Welcome back. Kamusta ka na?
Good afternoon, Teacher Etchel. Hi. How are you also? I hope you're well.
Yeah, oo. Tingnan mo naman sunflower ako, di ba? Yan. Kasi palapit na ang summer at umiinit na, kailangan bright ang mga color. Kapareho ng sayo, red, di ba? Kasi Rex is red, right? Okay. So we will also be joined today by a mom. Alam niyo yung Rex talaga, Rex Education, laging special ang paghahanda sa atin. We will be joined today by a mom of 3, a Manila Bulletin Lifestyle online sub-editor for parenting, beauty, and other sections, as well as the editor-in-chief of Wedding Essentials. She's also an entrepreneur and is also an active member of Angelo King Foundation. So we have one very dynamic mom, na nothing is impossible now, especially if you're a woman, So everyone, friends, let us welcome Mommy Jane Kingsu-Cheng.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Doc Etchel and Tr. Lois. Thank you for having me today.
I'm Jane.
Thank you very much. Despite your busy schedule, bigatin, Teacher Lois, editor-in-chief na. Tapos entrepreneur pa siya. Alright. Tapos meron pa siyang membership sa isang foundation, Angelo King, Ito yung mga mga kailangan natin pagka nag-uusap-usap tayo, So, let us start with Mommy Jane. Meron lang akong question sa iyo, Mommy Jane. So, Mommy Jane, I always ask from our parent guests before this webinar, you're aware what early childhood education means, and what about the other 6 domains of development?
Yes, so I have 3 kids and they're actually over that stage of early childhood development. They're 13, 10, and 8, but I've been there, pinagdaanan ko rin yan, and I know the value of honing those different domains. So the domains are cognitive, physical, social, emotional, creative, and language. So lahat yan important talaga for our children to be able to improve and hone on those skill set nga. Kasi makakatulong yan talaga sa paglaki nila at when they grow up to be human beings and take care of the world, di ba?
Oo, maganda yung take care of the world. Not only take care of themselves, but also
Mm-mm.
of the world. Kaya nga, character development, di ba?
Yes.
They
Mm-mm.
should learn how to say yes. They also learn how to say no, no? And also wait for their turn. That's very important. No? Being patient. Patience is a virtue. Pero
Totoo.
Pero let's zoom in on what Teacher Lois mentioned earlier during her keynote speech. Kayo ba, kapag sinabing creativity and character development, what is your take on or notion about creativity and character development based on
Okay.
your experience?
For my experience, kasi I think I'm blessed to have parents who value both. One of my fondest memories is actually with my dad when we talk about, sorry, medyo nerdy, but when we compare our math formulas when I was young. So he'll give me formulas, and then I'll say my answer, and then he'll ask me, paano mo siya na-solve? So there's no one right answer. There's no one right solution. So from there pa lang, na-expose na ako na, ay, oo nga, no, marami palang, hindi lang isang solusyon. Maraming ways to get there. And you don't get stumped na parang, okay, hindi na natuloy yung plan A ko. Okay, I give up. I wasn't exposed that way. So I guess I'm lucky, and I want also to, I've been practicing that with my children, lalo na yung mga takot sa math. So when you say nga, di ba, when you say math, hindi siya creative. It's actually, for me, creative. Because you're creating other solutions. So even mga grown-ups, when I talk to them, then when they say, oh my gosh, Jane, nasa editorial ka, you're right. But you're so good in math. Sabi ko, yeah, because I was exposed to that. Parang I was never afraid of problem solving because there's always a solution. So I guess yun yung parang I feel like they go hand in hand, cognitive and creative. Kasi di ba noon, left brain, right brain, pag creative ka, hindi ka magaling sa mga cognitive skills. But I don't believe that, and I think I'm proof of it because I'm here in the editorial, but I also love math. I'm a graduate of Management Information Systems, so that's a computer science course. So yeah, I think it's possible once you have the right environment, and once you have the right teachers and parents who will guide you all the way.
Oh, I like it, no? Kasi maraming natatakot sa math, no? Parang sabi nila, pag math ka, cerebral ka, hindi ka na pwede kumanta. But you know, also in College of Science, no? Gagaling, mga nerdy yung mga yan, nagagaling nila sa math, sa physics, no? Mga ganyan, pati chemistry, di ba? Lahat yan talagang parang napaka-cognitive. Pero alam yung galing-galing nila kumanta.
Yes, I also sing actually.
Galing ng piano, di ba? Parang hindi talaga limited doon, So you can be pursuing your, for example, engineering courses, but you can also be very good in the arts, no? So tama ka doon, naniniwala ako doon na hindi naman iisa lang ang solusyon sa problema. So there are many, many ways to solve a problem. There might be one or two answers, but parang pag magdadrive ka or pupunta ka sa isang lugar, hindi naman isang daan lang yung tatahakin mo. You can go from different ways depending on how you want it to be, no? That's very nice, and I'm so happy that you have very good parents who taught you. Kaya mahalaga, no, yung bahay talaga, doon talaga nagsisimula, no?
Kaya nga, early childhood, diba? Doon talaga, it's the first 5 years at home. That's so critical.
Correct. And then, eto pa, meron pa akong tanong. Di ba napakinggan natin yung keynote ni Teacher Lois kanina? She shared a lot of very good insights, no, about how to be creative, how do we develop the character of our children, no? So, what is the best learning or takeaway that you got from Teacher Lois' discussion?
I think it's safe to say that even for our viewers now that are tuned in, important talaga that they go hand in hand, cognitive, the character development, and creativity, because nakasalalay yung how you live your life nga, how you face problems head on. Kasi creativity can be therapeutic, it can teach you moral nga and character development. I don't think we should take creativity for granted, lalo na nung lumang panahon. When we were kids, yung batch natin, Miss Etchel, yung sinasabi na pag creative ka, walang pera doon. I mean, parang di na baliwala, di ba? But it's not something that it's not prioritized. And I'm happy that our generation now as parents, we see how important it is. And I think that we should inspire, we should encourage our children to be creative nga because it really helps them, lalo na in this fast-moving paced world talaga. Iba talaga na they have their creative outlets that they can go to and have breaks because it's also a form of break, diba? They break from all the things that's happening in our heads and in the social media. So there.
Yeah, gusto ko yung sinabi mo, no, na you can be creative every day, no? At saka parang akala kasi natin kapag creativity, oy mag-drawing tayo. Or kaya, paano naman ako maging creative? Di naman, stick drawing lang ang alam ko. Or di naman ako painter, di naman ako artist. But creativity can be finding solutions, no? Many ways to solve a problem or to even prevent issues or problems from coming, diba? Or from developing. So I really like what you said, that you can be creative every day of our lives. So ayan. So ngayon, tingnan naman natin si Teacher Lois. Si Teacher Lois, magkasama po kami yan sa department. So parati po kaming nagkikita niyan doon sa FLCD at marami po talaga kaming parating pinag-uusapan. So ngayon naman si Teacher Lois naman ang ating tatanungin. Like what you explained earlier, there are different ways to approach development of creativity and character in young ones or in young children. What are the common challenges that you see in homes or kids, for example, who grew up na very traditional or typical yung definition ng creativity and character building sa bata? What could be they be missing, no? Teacher Lois, ano kaya yung nami-miss nila kapag sinasabi natin creativity and character building?
Alam mo, Teacher Etchel, ang ganda ng question kasi yung mismong mga sagot ni Mommy Jane kanina, the way that her childhood was like, the way that she encountered math, a great example of what creativity truly is. So kapag naiintindihan na natin siya, ngayon parang people are taking the time to understand what it is because it's becoming more important. Sabi nga ni Mommy Jane kanina, dati creativity, people thought of it as something na walang pera doon. But in reality, what we have right now is, employers give value, give primacy, even businesses give primacy to creativity. Ibig sabihin, you need to stand out. You need to be not boxed in with a single idea. So ngayon, we are paying more attention to it. Even research since the 60s have been paying attention to it. Kasi nakikita natin yung increasing importance niya. And so I think that one of the biggest challenges of both moral development and creativity in our lives today as parents is our hurry. So katulad ng sinabi ko in our keynote speech, creativity and moral development have some things in common. And one thing that a common enemy that they have is hurry. I'm sure that parents, I'm sure parents as busy as Mommy Jane would agree that busyness is the enemy of being with your children, taking the time to be creative with them, taking the time to process why something is right or why something is wrong. Remember that moral development and creativity are the whys in the house of the children. So, yung sinasabi ni Mommy Jane kanina about how her parents took the time to ask her what were the things or what led you to the solution to this problem. It applies not only in math, but also in the way that she thinks about what may be right or wrong, or how planning ahead, planning maybe for her business or her column. So, and these things that she does for herself, that she learned from her family, these have become lasting to the point that now her kids get to see how she is thinking, how she is processing, that there is no right way. There is no one right way to do things, that there can be divergent solutions. So nakikita natin sa busy moms like Mommy Jane that we can actually be proactive even in our hurry. So remember, hurry is the enemy of moral development and creativity. And our children could be missing out on developing into these areas if we focus on hurry rather than on something that can be lasting with them. An example I gave in my keynote is, remember takot tayo as parents to be bored and for our children to be bored. So this is a good example of what we can do even in a hurry. To take a pause and say, boredom is not a bad thing. And then maybe we can be happily bored together. So even
Yeah.
in our hurry, I think that has some value. Na kahit ikaw makikita ka ng mga anak mo na, uy, bored din si mom. But she's not sad about it. She's not anxious about it. She's actually happy to be bored. And what does she do when she's bored? She comes up with ideas. I'm sure that Mommy Jane and Teacher Etchel are both very familiar with that. No, sometimes it's when you stop that the best, most creative ideas come out. Tama po ba?
Yeah.
You
Oo,
have,
tama
you have
yun.
older children. You have older children than I do.
Oo. Yeah, I agree. I like what you said, Teacher Lois, no? Parang minsan kasi yung word na hurry, parang bilisan mo na, marami pa akong gagawin, diba? So parang imbis na turuan natin, what do you think will be the solution? Kasi diba thinking is also a process. So hindi natin minamadali. You don't hurry thinking diba? Yung parang siya parang pag-iisipan mo talaga siya. So you need to be creative in some ways na I also like what you said, no, na parang walang isang tamang solusyon para doon sa gagawin mo, no. Maraming solusyon, maaaring mas maigsi yung solusyon, mas mahaba yung solusyon ng isa, pero in the end, we are going towards one goal. And what would be the goal? And that the goal can be negotiated with your children as well. So ano bang gusto nating gawin sa araw na to? Naboboard ka pala. Right? So anong pwede nating gawin ngayong araw na to? Tama ba ako, Teacher Lois?
It's our attitude as parents towards boredom. Kapag nakikita nila nagpapanik tayo kasi sinabi nila, I'm bored, they'd feel the same way about being bored. There's no more room to think things through. Pero parang hindi na pwede maging creative. But when they see you, pwede pala na pag-isipan muna natin. Pwede palang walang gawin. That's healthy. Ang dami nga nakapost sa social media ngayon na one of the dangers of childhood today is wala silang boredom. There's no room for boredom. And I think our childhood speaks a lot about the benefits of boredom. We did not have iPads. Yes. We did not have phones. So definitely throughout the day, you're bored multiple times. And we're not saying take away the screens now. That's almost impossible. We have to live with the reality that it's part of their lives. But definitely boredom could still be present. And that's valuable for both creativity and moral development.
Can I add also, just quickly?
Sure. Pwede ka mag-add.
Yeah, kasi being, well, two stories about being bored. So since I'm a parenting editor, I meet a lot of parents, especially young ones, kasi yan talaga yung mas yung concern. I'd always tell them, let them be bored. Remember when we would travel going to Baguio in the car, nakatunga nga lang tayo sa labas, imagining the clouds or what shapes. I mean, that's already, being creative. Sabi ko, let them be bored. It's normal. You have to challenge them to think of things. In the house naman, like last night, so I was reading the script. So katabi ko yung husband ko. So yung ginagawa mo sa webinar tomorrow, sabi ko, tuwang-tuwang sa topic kasi it's so me. Parang I'm so, bahala sila maboard, pabayaan mo. And that's always my suggestion. I mean, that's always my advice to all the young parents. Because napapanik na sila kasi, alam mo, parang we do it out of love. I mean, normal yung instinct na, okay, bored sila, kailangan kong mag-isip ng paraan. But that's not the right solution. You don't provide them the solution. So we were talking about it with my husband. This husband, sabi ko, ikaw rin, pag yung bunsong anak namin, Dad, I'm bored. Yung husband ko nagmamadali na, sige na nga, maglaro na nga tayo. Ako naman, mo, you're the one spoiling. Ako, pag sinabi ng daughter ko, I'm bored, sabi ko, maghanap ka ng gagawin mo. Ang dami kong piniling mga gusto mong activities.
Yeah.
Find something to open. Find something to discover. So now, when I'm busy at work, when I work from home some days, pupunta niya sa kwarto, sabi niya, Mom, I just did this. Like yesterday, I did crochet by hand. I learned it. So, you'd be surprised. You just let them be. You just let them grow on their own. You're just there on the side naman sabihin nila if they need help. They're like, Mom, I'm confused. How do we do this then? So, I know it's hard kasi nga, ang hirap na pag when you're in a hurry, you just want to provide everything for them.
Okay.
But yeah, I
Ay,
agree.
ginagawang yaya yung iPad. Ay, sorry. Ginagawang tagapag-alaga yung iPad, diba? Tapos, yun nga, like ko sinasabi, you talk to your children instead of, being glued on your phones, no? Minsan makikita mo sa mga restaurants, instead of talking to their children,
Yes.
ibigyan nila ng gadget, no? Ng mga anak nila para hindi ma-bored or para hindi umiyak. Pero hindi natin alam 'di ba? The true interaction starts from there. And then of course creativity can be learned from the parents as well.
Iba rin kasi na they get it from us rather from the iPads.
Correct.
Iba rin yung emotional and values na makukuha when they spend time with us. It's really because we have to be mindful and we have to be present talaga for our children.
Gusto ko yung sinabi mo, Mommy Jane, yung parang magta-travel tayo, no? Or pupunta, sasakay sila ng kotse or sasakay sila ng tricycle para dun sa mga walang kotse. Yung minsan nandito, malayo pa ba tayo? Diba?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Diba? Parang ganon. Pero actually, maraming talagang pwedeng gawin. Oh, you count the trees. Or mabibilang ba natin yung trees, diba? Parang pag-iisipan, paano natin bibilangin yung trees habang nakalagay? So, creativity can be in that way. O ilan kaya yung pulang kotse na makikita natin? So, these are the things na pwede nating pagkabalan. Not always the gadgets, no? Not always the tablets. And it's very expensive to own a tablet, no? So, parang ganoon. So, I really like that we are sharing all of these things. Siyempre, pareho-pareho naman tayo mga nanay. Iba-iba nga lang yung age groups ng ating mga anak. But sabi mo nga, Mommy Jane, pinagdaanan nating dalawa yan. Si Teacher Lois, mga bata pa yung mga anak niya, no? And then, Teacher Lois, which brings me to my next question. Earlier, you mentioned something about creativity and character building being connected to the other domains. So how important is creativity and character building in advancing or strengthening or supporting development of the other domains?
Yun nga yung maganda, Teacher Etchel, about domains of development. You can never take it apart. You can never say that one will stand out and leave the others behind. So you cannot say, I'll support my child's cognitive development and then leave the rest behind. Development doesn't happen that way. So ang kagandahan, if you pay attention to one, you're actually supporting everything else. And in the case of Mommy Jane, for example, yung pagbibigay sa kanya ng kanyang mga magulang ng attention for math, seeing it positively, imagine what it did for her social development, for her emotional development, na instead of feeling anxious about this difficult topic, that she felt excited about it. So it runs across. And then she got to put it in other areas of her life. Now she applied herself. She applied the same principle, the same methods to her other, to maybe even her business, her columns. I wish Mommy Jane could actually create a column on boredom. That would be great. Because it's something that a lot of parents are so fearful about, when in fact, actually boredom is a great topic to support all areas of development, in the same manner that moral development and creativity can do that. Because if moral development is your why and your creativity is your how across your life, then doesn't it support all the other domains well? Alam mo kung bakit mo ginagawa yung isang bagay. And kapag tinanong ka, paano ko kaya gagawin ito? Ang dami mong sagot, ang dami mong ideas. So I think we need to give primacy to that, because these are the things that you cannot directly teach. These are things that you need to experience, that you need to live for a very long time for you to understand. For me, this is right and this is wrong. Yeah. And for me, I can think of so many solutions to one problem. And problems are not scary. Di ba sabi ni Mommy Jane kanina, problems do not need to be scary because they have solutions. And that's not only true for math, although math is still my fear. The subject.
Ako din. Lalo na yung statistics.
Favorite ko yan.
Mamayang gabi may statistics ako. So I will do my best on that. So
maraming solusyon, matatapos mo yan.
I will keep Jane's advice in mind na I will have to find several solutions. So
masaya pag na-solve mo yun. That's the best feeling.
Yeah, that's true. You know, yung parang, uy, natapos ko. I know how to do it already.
Sorry, I interrupted. But yeah, that's the best feeling.
Yeah, it is. It is. So it's the same attitude. Imagine I'm not young anymore, but it's just a matter of what we do about it throughout our lives, that we can learn it throughout our lives. Na may natututunan pa rin ako about right and wrong today. Kasi we are not born good lang. We are actually here morally neutral all the way until we learn what is right and wrong for us. So both of them, you develop them lifelong. And it's good to see it that way. Kasi we can keep improving on it. Even us, even us as adults. So these two are very exciting areas that are growing now in conversations. Ang daming influencers who are talking about it right now. So this is good because a lot of parents can communicate about it now. And ano ba talaga yung creativity? Ano ba talaga yung moral development?
Yeah, Teacher Lois, I like what you said, no? Na talagang it's an ongoing process. Hindi porken meron ka ng solution, you can find better solutions to the problems, Tsaka 'di ba tama yung sinasabi mo na creativity and character building as domains, they're connected to the other domains kasi creativity also needs critical thinking. Diba? So when you're critically thinking and you're using your brains to find solutions, that is also related to how we're using and improving our cognitive aspect. Diba? So parang kailangan mo talagang gamitin yon. So creativity is not, sabi natin, it's not limited only to art. Siguro yung pinakamahirap, kahit ako medyo hindi ako magaling sa math, but my children are very good in math. No? Yung daughter ko, tama ka dun, Teacher Lois, ano ba yung solution dito? So one time yung daughter ko when she was still studying, kasi she's studying food technology, marami ang chemistry tsaka math, higher math. Meron siyang solusyon na hindi niya ma-solve. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, Mami, may Play-Doh ka ba? Oo, third year college na. May Play-Doh ka ba? Sabi ko, oo, bakit? Pahingi nga ako kasi meron akong solusyon dito na hindi ko ma-solve. Tapos after several hours, sabi niya, itong maliit na ito ang N. Yung
cute
part, diba? Ganito lang kaliit at mukha siyang parang maliit na triangle. So I don't know what she did with the Play-Doh, pero parang inano-ano niya, tapos parang alam mo yon yung math problem na very technical siya, na panay mga symbols, na parang feeling ko pag tinitingnan ko, nagko-collapse na yung mata ko, parang Diyos ko, ano ba to? Hindi ko ata to masasagot, parang ganyan. Pero siya at the end, eto na to. Nagulat kami lahat. Ganun lang pala siya kaliit. So, creativity could be, sabi nga Teacher Lois, could involve also math. And I like what you said earlier na hindi lang math yung kailangan ng creativity. A lot of problems actually, like COVID, for example, we were just going out of COVID-19.